What's up, everyone? We are live. It is Octagon Tactics, Zalal, Aljo. Beautiful main event card. Nice overall card. And we're going to be breaking down this card for our DFS purposes. We're going to talk about I got some underdogs. And with me to break it down, the DFS Army Dream Team here. We got Sniper. We got Geno. We'll break it all down, boys. While the live draft, I
already broke down the fight yesterday. Make sure you go check that out. I'm just going to talk about DraftKings strategy. I don't want to do fight breakdowns again. I just want to talk over underweight. That's my goal anyway.
Well, there you go. But we got to know about these fights, and I've got my own takes, Sniper, and they're quite different from yours. I'm going to get people on some winners this time, so that we can actually put some lineups in the win column. We had 100K and like a 15K over the past 2 weeks. Couple of monster DraftKings winners come through. Shout out, I think it was Jared. It could only be Jared. Took down 15K a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna get him going here. We're gonna get him going. I did not enjoy last week's card very much from a fight quality perspective, but I feel like this one's a lot better. And I'm telling you, your head's going to explode. Your head's going to explode when you see who I'm all in on, who's going to smash. And I have my reasons for it. So let's get a quick look. Let's get a quick look here at the ownerships for this card and, kind of take a look at the DraftKings stuff real quick. And a couple of interesting things going on here. First of all, in the main event, Zalal right now projecting at 40% with Aljo at 30% ownership. That's kind of interesting to me. It's a close fight. But I'm not sure that the more expensive fighter should necessarily... I'm a little surprised that Zalal's higher owned than Aljo here. I don't really get it. I don't really get why that would be. I don't necessarily agree. But a couple other fights here that are interesting, high finish fights, a couple of low-owned fighters I think that could do really well as well here. So let's get right into this card and get to the breakdown fight by fight. And let's start with this main event. You've got Zalal against Aljo. Zalal is a slight minus 141 favorite in the main event. And most importantly, Aljamain, this is not the kind of fight that's going to be low action. Generally, Aljo is going to be going for takedowns, generally aggressively. Zalal pretty much is open for the takedown, not the best takedown defense in the world, but very much improving at getting back up. And the other parts of MMA, maybe early in his career that he wasn't that great at, improving. But I haven't really seen Zalal against like a hardcore grappler since he's returned from his long absence from the UFC. So really interesting situation here with Aljo and Zalal. Aljo being a former champion and Zalal just being sort of an up-and-coming fighter. What do you make of it there, Sniper?
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Aljo. I also agree that I think, well, first of all, this is a stack and in cash games. It's favored to go over 4.5 rounds. You have two guys who can grapple. I think this is a pretty clear stack in cash games. And I do think there's plenty of paths where Zalal wins and it's striking based. And if it's a high scoring card, he won't hit the optimal. At 40%, I'm planning on being a little bit under Zalal. And I do want to be over on Aljo because I think he wins. If you're going to pick Zalal, I actually think there's a case to be underweight to the main on both sides then. If you want to, go on the Zalal side. There's just more paths where he can make the win and not make the optimal. It's also interesting that you always see in the comments, people hate Aljamain Sterling. They just do. I don't get it. The same people who hate Aljamain Sterling are the same people who think that Anthony Smith should have taken the DQ against John Jones, and it makes no fucking sense. Like, he got kneed to next fucking week, and then he went out and he beat Petr Yan after that. To say all you want, he beat him. So give me Aljo. I don't understand the hate. It's a clear cash game spot, and based on who you're picking, that's how you decide to go over under on this one. It's not an all-in main.
Geno, what's your take on the main?
I mean, it's funny. I was looking at the cheat sheets. Me and Sniper are really aligned on a lot of these calls this week, which is funny.
It's weird because usually we disagree hard.
Right. But Sterling, I mean, it's just there. It's really disrespectful to me. Even the line, I think it's like disrespectful to him. If you look at the run he had, I mean, when he lost to Sean O'Malley, look at how active he was when he lost to him. Okay, so you lost to Sean O'Malley. He's turned around. He's beat Brian Ortega. He lost to Mozarev Evloev, but I mean, that's somebody that's going to challenge for the belt. It's kind of crazy to me that he's coming in like this much of a dog. And then, so if you look at Zalal is a submission guy. So like he's either going to get a decision or he's going to land a submission. You're not going to submit Aljo. Watch it happen now. But Aljo's he's not somebody that's going to let you submit him. You're going to put yourself in danger there too. So it's really hard for me to see. And then you look at decision. Well, Aljo's going to suffocate him with his pressure. So it's hard for me to see really many pass for him. And then finally, if you look at his record, there's really no substance to it.
I don't know about no substance. I'm not sure I would agree with that at all. I think he's had good wins, and I think he's been impressive. And he absolutely deserves this fight against Aljamain. I was a hater of Yusuf Zalal in his earlier UFC run. He wasn't good. And I have he could not pass the Sean Woodson line of demarcation. You lose to Sean Woodson, I'm like, this guy ain't for me. But credit where it's due. Zalal leaves the UFC, goes on a run, clearly studies grappling because he was much more of a striker before, and then now he's winning fights with, submissions. Really impressive, but you're not submitting, as the Sniper said, you're probably not submitting Aljo. That said, the way I see this fight going down, I do see Aljo doing well early, but we've seen Aljamain Sterling get a little tired as the fight goes on, which is crazy because he trains with Merab. Somebody who trains with Merab should never get tired because Merab, man, what the fuck?
Different weight class, by the way. Now he doesn't have that big cut anymore.
That's fair. For Aljo, yeah. You mean?
For Aljo, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like this one to me super close. I like the Aljo side as well, especially at lower ownership compared to Zalal. And I agree with you a little bit there, Sniper, that maybe Zalal's a little less sexy as a main event winner, but not at 8,400. I have to push back. 8,400 so cheap. You're getting 5 rounds, 8,400 salary. It doesn't have to be an all-in, but he's probably going to score well if he does get this win, or he should, unless it goes a certain way where Aljo's dominating and then Zalal kind of takes over at the 2.5 round mark, kind of steals the last 3 rounds of a close fight. So that one should be close. Good fight. Good one to have a lot of exposure to, but I think it's 7,800. Aljamain Sterling, what I love about him the most is when he does win, he puts up monster scores. And there is literally almost no history of him winning where he's not absolutely crushing a big score. So that is what he does. And I would expect more of that. I would expect more of that here. So give me Aljo here, but close fight. And I certainly prefer him in DFS in that particular match. I think Aljo's worth a bet. Not one of my call out bets of this card, but I think it's worthy of a bet at plus 121. All right, let's talk about some other fights on this card. There's some fights I'm really excited about. Some boring ones. This one's kind of boring. Dumont versus Jocelyn Edwards, the sort of co-main event, let's call it.
What's really the ownership?
What's that?
Because what's going to factor here is I gotten the sense that Jocelyn Edwards is going to be chalky.
Massive ownership on Jocelyn.
17% Edwards.
Let me see here. Actually, Dumont.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be higher than that.
Not much going on for this fight. I was thinking of the other underdog female who's going to lose at high ownership, Talita. But here, Edwards 17%, Dumont 19%. Pretty close ownership. Jocelyn doesn't do anything that scores well. Dumont probably not going to score well either. I'm not too excited about this one. What about you guys?
Same. I'm gonna be under.
So I gotta disagree there. Jocelyn Edwards has a nice ceiling on her, actually. She's scored 100, 110, 109, and 119 in her last 4 wins. She's on a 4-fight winning streak. And the one thing I'll give her credit for is she knocked out Cachoeira. Cachoeira's got she's tough. They call her catch a beating because she's great at catching a beating. So do I think I get why, Dumont is the favorite, right? She's big, she's strong, but she's fighting a Jocelyn Edwards who's on a roll. Jocelyn does have some pop in her hands when she gets going. She also is dangerous on the ground too. She's very experienced in the ring, ran with a lot of the top girls. So I think she's actually my kill shot. And I think at 17%, she's definitely worth some stabs here at 7,400.
I think she's going to win. I don't know if she's going to score.
Classic. I think Dumont's going to win. I think she is stronger. Jocelyn grappled decently against Cornell, but I put no stock in the Priscilla win. Priscilla her chin is going. Yeah, she can catch a beating, but she's getting more and more knockoutable because she just catches punches with her face. But Jocelyn has improved in the grappling. I just don't think she's going to be strong enough to take down Dumont. I think Dumont presses her up against the cage, is dirty, wins a decision, probably doesn't score well. So while I'm picking Dumont, I do agree that if Jocelyn wins, I think it's probably because I'm wrong and she can get takedowns, and that's what she did against Nora, and we're kind of seeing this evolution in her game. I don't know if I'm a believer in that. I also thought she was going to be chalkier at 30-ish%. I might just go field weight on her and be under on Nora. So other dogs I like to be over on. I can't sell myself being over if I'm not picking a dog this week, but I also don't want to play much Dumont, and I am picking her to win. So I'm kind of in a weird spot in that one.
This fight's a turd. Let's be real. Fight's a turd. Moving on. Better fight. And this one's super close. I actually genuinely have no idea which way to go, although ownership is really interesting here. Rafa Garcia against Alex Hernandez, right? Remember Hernandez knocking out Beneil Dariush in his debut as a short notice debutante years ago. It's funny when I kind of was researching this fight, I kind of thought that Hernandez had fallen off a cliff, sort of, but it's not true. As you look at him, the guy's been fine. Winning fights. He's winning fights recently. He was on a 4-fight win streak, not against the best guys, but on a 4-fight win streak. Again, bottom level guys, but better than nothing. Winning is good. And I just think this is a super close fight. Garcia coming off what was like too difficult of a win against Vince Pichel. Nice win against Jared Gordon. I think Garcia's pretty good. These guys are super close. I do not have a strong which guy is going to win take. I'm leaning Hernandez here. And
you got to look at the odds. Look at the line movement, by the way. Click on Rafa Garcia where this fight started on the week.
Yeah, definitely a little money came in on Garcia.
I got Garcia plus 130. That was the first line I snapped up this week.
All right, yeah, and plus 130 is a lot better than the plus 105 it's at now, so that's good closing line value beating. Over 2.5 rounds is minus 240. It's just fight's not super sexy for me. Feels like kind of something that's going to go to a decision. I don't know that either of these guys are going to have a lot of success going for takedowns. Garcia definitely likes to grapple a little bit, but Hernandez, he's got decent enough takedown. I'm not sure that's you think we get some grappling here? I think Garcia wins it with some takedowns.
That is what I think. What was the ownership? Because of the line movement and his cheaper price tag?
He's way high, around 33.
Massive ownership. Yeah. Massive ownership.
That's the problem here.
Let me see if I can find it here. Why is this not in order?
Right there.
Super frustrating.
50,
here we go.
That can't be right.
Yeah, you're going to get 32% ownership on Garcia.
That's
one of the higher owned guys.
That actually takes away a bunch of the shine. And I already bet him. He could grapple, but with that line, I'm probably going to end up being underweight in this fight. And obviously at the start of the week, I was thinking Garcia's kill shot worthy, And then I saw the ownerships and the line movement. I'm like, well, shit, this is not sneaky at all because I think he's better than people think. Hernandez is on that 4-fight winning streak that I think is a little deceiving, and it's a bad matchup stylistically. But yeah, it kind of fight loses a lot of shine because of the ownership. But I do like Garcia in the grappling.
Honestly, it shifts me a little bit to Hernandez and just saying, fuck it. What if he comes out and gets one of his patented fast finishes at 14% ownership? The leverage here is on the Hernandez side.
I don't disagree, and that upsets me.
Geno, you got a take on this one?
Yeah, well, I agree with what you just said. I picked Garcia to get it done. I see a lot of worlds where this fight just doesn't score that well. You know, I could see where this fight goes to decision. He kind of grinds it out and wins as the underdog. It's a good bet. That's what I was going to say. Is that's one of the bets I like this week is Rafa Garcia. Get on it now because it's not going to be plus money much longer.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't bet it at these odds. No way.
No,
it's too close. It's too close. I'm not betting Hernandez either. This shit's too close. I'm not risking plus 105 on a coin flip. And this thing's a coin flip to me. It's a coin flip for me. I wouldn't touch this. I have better ones. I have really good ones. You're going to lock them in plus money and just take it to the bank. If you're a little light on cash.
I really hope we're on the same ones. I can't wait to see which ones you're going to give out here.
You're going to hate it. But all I'm telling you, you're going to hate who I like. But I'm telling you, if you're light on cash, you need a little money, a little bit of, you want to take your wife out to a nice dinner or, celebrate with your significant other. You want to take the family on a little vacay for the watchers. I'm going to help you do that today. I'm going to help you do it with some of these plays. Geno knows. Geno's already planning. He's like, oh, Bahamas. What's up? Let's do Disneyland. You could probably drive to Disneyland.
Oh, I will.
You guys will both get Disney tickets by the time I'm finished with these picks. But wait, we got to get to them. And you're going to hate them. You're absolutely going to hate them. And it's going to
pick Eric McConico, aren't you?
Listen, you're going to hate them. I don't want to spoil any of this. You'll see. But let's get into this next fight here. Everybody's favorite underdog that's come through for us in the past, Davy Grant. How many times has Davy Grant helped my DFS lineup to championship glory? I can't even count the number of times as an underdog. He's taken on Adrian Luna Martinetti. With Grant set as a minus 122 favorite in this fight. Very close odds. Super, super close. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 170. So the odds makers think this fight will go to decision. Now, Geno, you got a take on this fight? Davy Grant, Adrian Luna Martinetti. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with the over. I think this fight does go over. I like Davy Grant. He's good. I think he gets the win here. But I think it's going to end up being a decision. It may even be good to watch, but I think overall the volume won't add up to enough for it to be much for a tournament play. And that's really all I have for that. I like Grant. I think he's a good play, or not a good play, but maybe if you want to sprinkle something on him, that's fine. But overall, not going crazy with the fight.
Sniper, the Ecuadorian MMA scene. How is it?
Not great. I mean, that's the honest answer. He's 17-1. I don't know. He's knocking out a bunch of Fruit Loops and cans. And granted, the Vologden fight was fun, fight of this of the series, but Vologden, we just saw last fight. He likes to get hit and shows that toughness. I don't know. I think Davy Grant is, as per usual, being slept on, can mix it up better, more experience. I also don't think this is a good fight to target. I have the main event. I have another fight we haven't talked about yet in the mid-range. This fight kind of goes lost for me. I'll lean Davy Grant, but not much interest either way here. This one feels like a turd to me.
Yeah, I'm going the other way on this one. I'm going to go with the up-and-coming youngster, which is, again, going to be different a little bit from some other calls I'm going to make here tonight. But I'm going to go with the other guy just because Davy Grant's old as shit, bro. He's 40. Come on.
Hey, it hurts my feelings. I get it. I don't have a strong take. I get it.
Yeah, he's just old, dude. He's old. and that's not great. But that being said, the opponent, Adrian, has proven nothing. So this is what's that?
You don't think the young punk comes and gets whooped by the old man? The old man shows him how it's done in the big leagues.
Normally I do like that narrative. I do appreciate, and I have that for this next fight coming up, or a fight coming up in a minute. But here, I'm not sure if Davy Grant is washed or not yet. He's just old, and he just doesn't look. He hasn't looked the same in recent fights.
He's been winning fights, though, hasn't he? Didn't he win his last fight?
No, he got a beat down from Charles Jourdain. Now,
I forgot about Jourdain. I was thinking of the Blackshear fight. I forgot about the Jourdain fight.
Then again, the Blackshear fight is recent enough to say, okay, he maybe still has it. So, like the Jourdain, that loss looks better and better. Like that's not a bad loss at all at this point. Jourdain is probably a contender. So, but he got his ass beat real quick in that one. We'll see. We'll see if Luna Martinetti is a real deal or a pretender. Could be a pretender, could be a faker. All right, let's keep going through some of these fights because there are some really good DraftKings fights, and I don't know that we've gotten to them just yet, but we're getting there. Next fight on the card, Howney Barcelos taking on Monty Jackson. Jackson, the favorite, the long-armed, the weirdly long-armed Montel Jackson. He looks like an aircraft carrier or something. Dude's got a wingspan. Amazing God-given gifts for Montel Jackson. Coming in as the favorite. The fight goes the distance. Prop is -160. Again, another fight set to go potentially to decision according to the odds makers. Let me grab the ownerships on this guy to see if there's any sort of reason to fucks with them on DraftKings. All right. I mean, Barcelos, 12%. Jackson, 22% owned. Montel Jackson having a hard time. It just kind of doesn't put it all together. Looks like he should be, he looks like he should be like a killer, but, doesn't seem to put it all together all the time. So, Geno, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I like
super low owned,
Yeah, I like Montel Jackson. I like him to get it done here. I think he is a good GPP play at his price, and then he also has a good ceiling. He's kind of up and down. It's one of those ones where some of his stats can be deceiving too. I know Sniper hit on this like a couple weeks ago. Like his average takedowns may say like I don't even know what it says, but it probably says around 4 or 5. But he has like one fight where he hit 11 takedowns, and then he'll have fights where he has as many as 0. So he's kind of volatile with that. But he also has the ability to land finishes. He's done that. He's done that a lot. He can get the best of somebody early. So I don't think he's the worst play in the world, especially fighting against Barcelos. I think he definitely has the upper hand here. I don't see where Barcelos has an upper hand on him or like a significant advantage or edge. So I am going to go ahead and go with Montel Jackson. He's going to be somebody I play pretty heavily in my lineups. Interesting.
What about you, Snipe? Which way you looking in this one? And can it score well for us?
I don't think it's going to score well. I think Howney Barcelos is always tough. He's also getting old as shit. Montel is not high volume. I don't think Montel's going to look to take Howney down. And if he does get Howney down, I think Howney will play the BJJ game. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of upside in this fight. Montel is just – Howney's tough. For being an old man, he's been tough. I don't think we see a finish. This is one I don't think it scores well, but I do think Montel is better. As much as I've been a Howney Barcelos, truther over the years, this guy is legit. Play him, and he's cashes underdogs for us. Montel Jackson is really good. I just don't think he scores well. That is my big concern, especially after the last fight. He looked fucking bad against Davis. Just gun shy, all kinds of. So I just don't like the fight overall, but I am taking Montel Jackson.
Yeah. I don't really like my Montel as like a good DraftKings play per se. I don't think that's gonna. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna score that. I agree. I don't think it's gonna score well. I actually prefer the Barcelos side for DraftKings purposes. I'll take the underdog, take the savings. He does go for takedown. Montel Jackson's going to have a hard time taking Barcelos down. No one takes Barcelos down. It's not a thing that happens. So I don't expect Montel to be able to do it. Striking Jackson, not exactly a volume machine. So he'd need a finish early to pay off that even a plus money or a minus money kind of salary above 8,200. So for me, yeah, I want to be under on Jackson, and I'll have more Barcelos just in case he gets the takedowns and get it done. But I don't see either guy scoring particularly well either in this one. It's not one of the fights I have at the top of my list. Now, this next fight, though, this is one of my favorites on the card. And I think it's going to score well. And I think it's going to blow minds the side that I'm on. So under 1.5 rounds here, minus 155. To me, I'm talking Marcus Buka taking on Ryan Tired. I'm calling his nickname Tired because he always looks tired. He looks like he's bored. He looks like he's tired out there. He looks like he probably didn't get enough sleep the night before. He looks like he could, that's what the visual I get of Ryan. Ryan Spann is so lazy that he used to fight at 185, and now he's like, fuck it. I'm going up to 265 because I want to be fat. That's Ryan Spann. Sniper, are you familiar with Ryan Spann?
Yeah. And I can respect him wanting to get fat. That being said.
And being tired.
I'm on Buchecha. I agree. This is like an all-in fight. This is one of the best fights in the card to target. There's a couple of BJJ wizards on the card. I'm all about Buchecha here. I'll run back some Spann. I think I'm probably just going to go field weight Spann and slam the rest Buchecha. So Spann can't beat me, and I'll definitely be over. And it's happened before. I said it. I've been burned where I said I was all in on Walker Reyes, and can't believe how that one turned out. But those are the kind of stands you got to make in DFS. It's likely going to be on the optimal. Let me get my leverage and move on. So I think that's how you do it. I think you pick whoever you think is going to lose this fight, play the field weight, and the person you think is going to win, play all the rest.
Let's get a look at these ownerships. And Geno. So Sniper is on the Buchecha side here, but loves the fight in general. These guys are pretty reasonably priced. Very low ownership for both of these guys.
Seems fucked up.
What's that?
That doesn't seem right. That ownership.
Yeah, these ownerships seem way too low for these guys, but we'll see if that corrects overnight. But right now we have both guys really low owned. Everybody hates Ryan Spann. I get it. Geno, what do you think about this fight? What's your thoughts here? You like tired Spann or the newcomer, the BJJ submission ace heavyweight? You don't see that every day.
I'm going with Spann. I'm just glad I could find something to disagree with you guys on.
No, don't say you guys. I haven't given my pick yet, Geno.
No, Geek was clearly setting me up, and I know Geek was setting me up with the whole tired Spann, but
yeah,
I can't play Spann. He's the 185.
I was setting you up. Yeah.
So Spann, he didn't look. I mean, he just came out and took Bresky right out when in the last fight he was in. But with those guys that come with heavy BJJ backgrounds and they don't have any experience before, those kind of unknown guys that come in as favorites, they always run the risk of being paper tigers, in my opinion. So I think you have that there's the possibility there. There's also a possibility. I mean, dude looks the part, right? I wouldn't. Yeah, he looks pretty terrifying.
Look at that. He's got the gi on. He's a real BJJ master. Got that black belt.
Yeah, and so he's fighting, Ryan Spann. He's gone up and down. He's gone up with divisions and all that, and it's not the best look for him. But recently he's 2-1. And he's been fighting in the UFC. He's got a win over OSP. He's got a win over Bresky. Both finishes, both submissions. I don't think he gets a submission here. But I just think that there's a lot of volatility towards him. And I want to kind of ride that. So I'm going with Spann.
There you go. So my take on this fight is a little bit of what you said there, Jay. I love Ryan Spann here. Absolutely love it. I love that he's an underdog. I love that everybody hates him. I hated him too. This is what I love the most. My first reaction is, fuck that guy. He sucks. I hate him. And then I'm like, wait a second. All right. My hatred for Ryan Spann, that's because at times he was looked at as a real fighter and he was fighting against like acceptable opponents and he would look like shit. Fine. But now he's up against this guy, Buchecha.
We thought he was a real fighter. Now he's
no. Before he started to take law, you thought so too. Wait, you don't have the ability to take yourself back in time, but take yourself back to before he started losing to all these guys, and he went on a winning streak. He looked like a real fighter. Devin Clark, Sam, beating Misha Sarkunov. All right, cool. Beating Jan. You're like, oh, this guy's all right. And then he just bogged and he's just losing to everybody. You're like, what the fuck, bro? What happened? You're like, what the fuck happened? Right? We thought he was a real fighter, Sniper. Don't bullshit a bullshit artist. You thought so. I thought so. We all thought so. And now we know better. He goes out there. The guy looks tired. He looks like he could be doing something else right now. He looks like he's missing his favorite show tonight. So Survivor's on, and I'm here fighting. What the fuck? Except here's the part I cannot get past. Buchecha, who the fuck is Buchecha? This is a guy who doesn't. He has no proof that he belongs in the UFC. He lost to Kennedy and Chukwukwu. If it wasn't for Chukwukwu kicking him in the nuts over and over and over again, he loses to him. He loses to Boudet. Where's the win that tells you this man even partially belongs in the Ultimate Fighting Championship? Nothing. He's just a grappler. And guess what? Ryan Spann knows jiu-jitsu. The guy submits people. He's not that bad. I'm not saying he's the next coming of Royce Gracie. I'm saying he's not a complete. When you're these guys who got submitted, Kirill Grishenko and Simon Carson, I guarantee you are just fat dudes from the bar who were going into fight on whatever this lame ass promotion was on One Fighting Championship.
Wait, whoa! I mean, come on, you can't be slamming one that hard. It's not.
I'm slamming a 2-1 fighter.
Fights 42.
A 2-1 fighter and a 5-1 street fighter that was found at the local bar. Getting into fights. He's like, oh, I'll fight in the UFC. That's who gets quickly submitted by this guy Buchechnia. Hell no. As sickening as it is, and that's the best kind of play. I'm going to get on Spann. Spann's going to knock him out and win you the tournament this week at 14% or 12% ownership as an underdog. That's what's up.
There's no way he's 12%.
He's literally like 12, 13% owned in a fight. 14.89 right now.
Look, I love our tools. That's wrong.
It could be wrong. I'll accept it. But as of right now, I'm getting it. It's not that wrong. It could be 20, but it's not going to be a lot of ownership.
I think he comes in. I think he comes in between 25 and 30.
I feel like I don't want to pronounce the name right unless they've earned. This is a thing, Gio. Unless they've earned the respect of the pronunciation, learning the name, I'm not going to learn it. Right? They have to win a couple fights in the UFC, and then I'll learn the name. Like Buchechnia or whatever the fuck his name is. Buchecha. Bukeki.
Look, I'm going to be 30% Spann, 70% Buchecha.
It's probably Bukeka. It's not
Bukakia. Okay.
Bukaki? His name is Bukaki? Wait, what? I don't know. You got to earn the learning of the name. No? I don't know. That's my approach. I love Ryan Spann here, guys. Look at this guy. He looks like he hasn't slept in a week. Eyes are tired. You know how fat he is now compared to this? This was when this guy was fighting at 185. He's at 260.
He's going to look like Chris Barnett soon.
That's basically what he is. But yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Bukeki, nope. It's a no for me, dog. We're going Ryan Spann to win the tournament this week on DraftKings, and an underdog bet at plus 115. Straight bet, Ryan Spizzles, a.k.a. Tired. That's his nickname. All right. I know you love this next guy, Sniper. Vieira, Adolfo Vieira, man. This guy lets you down sometimes, bro. He lets you down. Minus 305, taking on Eric McConico. plus 255. The only thing I care about when I see a Rodolfo Vieira fight is like, can this guy stomp a takedown? And the answer is, I don't know. Probably not.
I mean,
Geno.
if you look right, he probably can. It's Cody Brundage took him down 3 times. Brundage couldn't hold him down. Vieira's not going to have that problem. And you say Vieira let you down, but what bad loss does Vieira have on his record that makes you think he's not going to beat Eric McConico?
Nothing. No, he's just a letdown guy. I don't like guys who gas out. When I see you gas out,
he did it one time, once.
Yeah,
I beat him up for that too. He learned the lesson. Like he's not done it since. A little bit lower volume than I want to make up for, but he hasn't made that mistake again. He's got just such a grappling advantage in this one that I struggle to see how McConico. The only thing I see, and because they are light heavyweights, they're big dudes, like maybe McConico catches him coming in and finishes him. But other than that,
can I give you another thing? Can I give you another thing that he let me down with significantly?
Sure.
This is significant. His scoring. Where this is a BJJ maniac who should be taking you down Umar Nurmagomedov style. Instead, I'm getting a 77-point win against Gore. What the fuck? Here's a 114er, but 90 against Cody Brunt. That's a letdown, bro. You only scored 90.
That's around 2-7. Here's why he's not like, and I get your point.
He doesn't score well.
He's not like Umar, and because he's not a rinse and repeat grappler. Because those guys are great wrestlers. They're great wrestlers. They're shitty grapplers. They let people back up and they tire you out. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Great for DraftKings scoring. Vieira, he gets you down, you're staying there the rest of the round. And he's going to hunt for subs, and he's not incredibly active, but he's so much better and dangerous down there. I see your point with the scoring potential coming down. My problem is the matchup. McConico sucks balls. That's my issue.
Could be you know who else sucks balls? Cody Brundage.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my wife. I was going to tell you it's not true.
I wish. My wife. I can tell you that's a definitive no. But
I'm sitting here and smile.
Geno's wife is in the room. Don't say a word, bro. Don't say a word. Everything's all
I just told
good.
you what he wants later.
I don't like the scores that Vieira has put up. That's my problem. Could I agree with you? Could he put up a big score here? Yes, sure. He wins in the first 60 seconds, submission, whatever. But I'd also say he's super live for a takedown and a submission, and he only scores 95. This guy doesn't throw love taps. Geno, your wife in the room would know about this. You got to throw love taps.
No, she don't know about no love taps. No.
You don't know about the love taps?
Mm-mm.
Well, if you're holding somebody down, do a little bit of this. It counts for DraftKings points. Every one of these. He doesn't do it. Hate guys that don't fucking do love taps when they get the takedown. You know who does do that? Marab and those guys. Never not throwing punches. Even Aljo does. So danger on Vieira on the pay up, but I agree. I think he wins the fight and he wins by submission, or I could see him getting a knockout. Like maybe McConico is so crap that he actually gets knocked out.
Yeah. Possibilities are endless. I don't see where he wins, where McConico wins. So
he could win if Vieira tires out and can't take him down, but like it seems unlikely. To me. So I like the fight. I think Vieira. Are you full fade McConico?
That's what I'm looking at possibly doing. I
Sniper
don't know
full
yet.
fade. Geno
not
full
full,
fade.
but under is already shitty ownership.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm leaning towards fading.
My problem with the full fade for me is that if I'm going to be over on Vieira as a core play, I'm going to run back a tiny 10% hedge of McConico, and I mean just for that reason.
Yeah.
Should have hedged more Luque a couple of weeks ago.
No shit, right?
Whoops.
God.
Whoops. All right. Next up, guys, another fight of turds. This is like a turd explosion. Cedricus Dumas taking on Jackson McVey.
This is gross.
McVey is favored here at minus 185. Fight ends inside the distance. You ready for this one? Minus 550.
Under 1.5 rounds.
I actually like the over on that just because I think that number is way too high. That being said, this is a fight to target. Let's see what the ownership looks like on these two guys.
It's nuts. Dumas is like 15%.
I mean, this is ridiculous. We'll see if this holds. McVey and Dumas look to be both fairly low owned at 15 and 27% respectively. Again, not super reflective of the inside the distance odds. I think these ownerships will go up. Sniper, you think they're going to be owned a lot more than this?
Yeah, I think McVey's going to come in around 40% and Dumas is going to come in around 30%. And I'm going to be over on Cedricus Dumas. And this is where you have to separate how you feel about a fighter personally versus skill set. I cannot believe Jackson. Like, this should be a pick 'em. Both guys are a couple fucking terrible fighters, high variance. Neither one is good. Neither one is good. I'll go ahead and take Cedricus Dumas at dog pricing. I also actually think he's a little bit better. He's a head case, but I think he's got more physical gifts, is a little bit better, and just everybody hates him, so he's an underdog here. It's not even the strongest take in the world because he's not good. I get it. I want to be over on Dumas for the price, and I think he is slightly better, and I'll run back a little bit of McVey. I mean, if 25% is real and I can get over on both sides, great. I'll go 40% Dumas, 30% McVey and call it a day, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Dumas. It's we'll see how it shakes out when I start building, but Dumas got to be one of the top tournament plays on the board.
Jackson McVey, very unproven, Geno. Very unproven.
Yeah.
So is Cedricus.
I mean, I'm going with Dumas. I don't want to belabor it and add more to it because it's pretty much everything Sniper just said.
I'm going the reverse, guys. I think Dumas is absolute crapola. Does not belong in the UFC at all. Not improving. Not anything impressive. I don't know where the hell he's training, but it doesn't seem like it's like a place where you pay money to go. I feel like it's like a free spot. Like where I go to the gym here in town, they have a town gym. And sometimes when I don't want to like have to talk to all the people I know, like the parents from the school at the Crunch Fitness, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, Geno. I'm not trying to talk to the parents from the school at the gym and all these random like acquaintances. I hate having to deal with acquaintances. And so I'm like, I'll go to the town gym today. And you go in there with the weirdos. The great thing is you don't know anyone.
Everybody walks around the locker room naked.
No, there's none of that. I haven't been in the locker room, thank goodness, but that might go on. I haven't been there. I just go right into the gym, and it's usually like, some seniors.
Yep, naked locker room, I guarantee it. Go check it out. Check it out next time, just make sure.
They are definitely full frontal in the gym. They're there more for that than they are for the gym part. But I will tell you this, it's kind of nice. You get like some seniors, they're on the machine. You're like, sir, this is how you use that machine. You'd help them out a little bit. Be a nice guy. Man, this is how you turn on the treadmill. You got to put this little thingy on your shirt in case you start falling off. It turns the machine off. You know what I'm saying? You help him out. That's where Cedricus Dumas goes. Where the fuck does this guy train? Is he even better than he was when he got in the UFC like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever that was? He was on the card in Jacksonville, Sniper, that I was in Jacksonville for the MMA championships 2 years ago. When was that? This card, where I got my Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria poster in the background here. He was there. He was on the card. I believe I can't remember who he fought. Anyway, he won. I think it was against Brundage. I like Jackson McVey here, and I think Jackson McVey gets a finish at low ownership. Now, why do I like Jackson McVey? I just think his two losses were against guys who are pretty good. And, he's winning fights, winning real MMA fights. And he gets to the UFC and he loses to Bruno Ferreira. Okay. I'm not mad at that. The guy's pretty good. Like Bruno, he's no joke. The Hulk, I don't want to fight that dude. And then Zach Reese, close fight. All right, fine. Zach Reese also pretty good. Winning fights. Give me the other side here. Jackson McVey. Everybody's going to play Dumas. Everybody needs that salary savings, but we're saving salary on Ryan Spann. We don't need it. But I have another one for you, too. I'm not betting this one. I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't lay the chalk on that one. But I do like McVey to get the win. I'm going to brush through a couple more fights here that I don't think are super relevant for the underdogs. But I'll ask you guys both this. I'll start with you, Geno. So you have these 3 fights that have heavy favorites, right? Hafel Filho, -6. Love him, right? Pay up.
Mhm.
Great. Michelle Montague taking on Myra Buena Capulet? The Montagues and the Capulets? Is that a Shakespearean thing?
It is a Shakespearean.
Is that correct? Did I get that right?
The Montagues and the Capulets, yes.
It is the Capulet? Fuck yeah. Good knowledge. Good knowledge there, Sniper. Kind of good confirmation there. I like that we have like a high school principal in this chat, but he didn't know about he didn't know about the Shakespeare. What the fuck? What do you do? Oh my god.
He's too busy confiscating lighters and keeping kids from finger blasting in the hallways. That's what he's doing.
No, you forgot about the vapes, dude. The vapes is serious business, dude.
Y'all should see like the adult. You selling them after you confiscate them from the kids later on. And out of the trunk of your car, like, all right, I got vapes. Who needs some?
It's single-handedly the most funniest thing about being on my job, though, is how the adults just lose their mind over these freaking vapes, dude. Like, you would I'm like convinced, man, like every kid in this generation vapes in some shape or form. It's just a thing.
I don't want to say whose kid I caught buying like some weird ass like synthetic vape oil or something or another, but I'm just going to say that I told that kid that if you're going to be vaping that material, you better use the real shit from the pharmacy, not whatever this gas station crap is that you're doing. You're gonna end up turning into a zombie. Don't do this. I will pay. Not going to say who that kid was, but just know that I'll say no more. All right. 3 favorites here. And Sniper, you already told us that you are happy to pay up for Rodolfo Vieira. But here we've got a couple of other favorites, high pay up options. Michelle Montague, Phil Ho, who I think is going to be the guy, and Francis Marshall, who scores well when he wins. So of that trio, let me see what Francis Marshall is up to here. But of that trio, what are your and now add in Vieira, you can only afford 1 pay up. Assuming
I can only afford 1 pay up. So I'll simplify this. I'm just going back to what I talked about last night. There's 5 fighters above 9K. I think you can cross 2 of them off immediately. One we haven't talked about yet in Julia Palastri. You think she wins? She probably scores shit. And who was the other pay up I did not like at all? Was might be Montague. No, thank you. I'm not totally done with Myra Buena Silva quite yet. And still, regardless, 9,300 for Montague. Like, it's too much for me.
Score last time
against Luana Carolina. I mean, if she burns me, she burns me. I'd rather play Fielho and Marshall and Vieira. If I only get one of them, it's probably Fielho because Durden's on short notice and keeps getting chin checked. Like that's probably where I go if I only have one. And then I would say Marshall feels the safest for cash between him and Vieira's probably got a little more upside.
Let me look at the ownerships here. You're going to get, all right. I mean, these numbers are crazy, but Phil Ho, 50%. Francis Marshall just behind him, 48%.
Yeah, I'm not.
No.
I'm going to talk to our vendor, I think, because 8% Julia Pilastri's fucking bananas too.
Yeah, I believe Taco's doing these ownerships straight up.
I think he needs to rerun, and they've been pretty good. I think something happened in his formulas.
Yeah, this run is looking very off to me. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, I think it's Phil Ho as far and away the best one.
Yep.
I mean, he's the most expensive, but I think he's the best one. Again, Vieira is definitely a risk to just score a 95 with a takedown and a submission outside of the first 60 seconds. I don't love that. Julia Pilastri, I mean, for as much as you're shitting on her, she's a bad bitch. Like, she's a badass.
Is she?
Yeah, she's pretty fucking badass. When she's, look at the beating she put on Carol Kavitz, put up a 102.
Kovalevich was a million years old.
All right, but I mean, that's fair. But I mean, she's fighting, kind of somebody worse. I don't know. I agree with you. It's not an exciting play up. The only thing that would interest me with Pilastri would be ownership leverage, just like a low-owned female fighter. Same thing with Montague. For some reason, these female fighters, they don't get any ownership, and when they pop, that's how you win the tournament. Like, everybody's going to be on.
You really hate that I picked Talita Alencar, huh?
Yeah, she's not going to win. She's not winning. Pilastri is a bad bitch. I get why you picked Talita Alencar, though. The logic is correct. At least Talita goes for takedowns. Pilastri doesn't really stop takedowns that well. There is a path for a good fight out of Talita as well if she can land the takedowns. But I just think Pilastri is going to piece her up. Geno got a take on the pay up options.
Yeah, so I don't love Francis Marshall. I don't love him for that price either. You look at his scoring history too. It really doesn't have much of a history of scoring above 100. He, even with his finishes, a lot of times it just lacks the volume. The last finish that he got, I thought that was interesting. It was because of like when it landed, I guess, in the round. Because it was a round one finish, it just didn't get like the big bonus of it. So I'm at 9,400. I'm not a huge fan. I do like Field Ho. I know he's 49%, but I'm going to use him as a core play. I mean, he's high. He's going to be high on for a reason because he's a good play. And then I like Montague. I like her at I'm going to be interested to see when the ownerships get recalibrated, but at 21%, I don't think she's the worst play either. I wouldn't go crazy with it because Bueno Silva is quite dangerous. And it's almost like the one thing I'll say about this fight, especially on the dog side, is, I'm picking Montague, but the one thing I acknowledge is the fact that if she takes Bueno Silva down, she's entering the danger zone the minute that they go to the ground with her.
I feel like you're thinking about vintage Buena Silva that existed like 6 or 7 years ago. I'm not sure you're referring to that same lady that's been fighting for the last 3 years and just like uninspired. I know what you mean. Like, she's got a reputation. She submitted some people back in the day, but like, bro, this girl, I think it's possible that Holly Holm took her soul and she hasn't gotten it. But look at this record.
What, with the no contest?
Yeah, like that's when Holly Holm took her soul, and then she just turned into garbage.
Holly Holm didn't take her soul. She beat Holly Holm.
Well,
overturned.
Yeah, it was a no contest. They called it a no contest.
Ninja choke.
So she was beating Holly Holm, and then goes on to this losing Chasson, losing to Cavalcante. What happened? Did she age?
She ran into a couple. The last two are like Jasmine Jazz, Divicious, top of the division.
Yes.
Kiason was she took a was that a clash of heads that resulted in a cut? I don't remember. The Pennington loss is the one to me that's inexcusable, but that was her title fight, and she totally shit her pants.
Maybe that was the fight that her soul was taken. Like, she could have been a champion.
The Pennington title fight broke her absolutely.
In fairness to Mara Buena Silva, Pennington fights with a style that's like it could be a little tricky. It's slow and boring, but
the more we're looking at it, the more I'm starting to like Buena Silva as an actual dog play.
Yeah, actually. I don't know. I think Michelle Montague is going to take her down a bunch of times, and I do think she will use the takedowns. I think my point here was more that I think Montague is a reasonable pay-up option compared to all of these other ones that I can easily find, like, okay, like you said, Francis Marshall hasn't scored all that well in his wins. I like him here because the opponent's terrible, but like he hasn't been the greatest of DraftKings producer. We expect all these fighters mostly to win their fight. So it's really just about figuring out the one that's going to score the most points. So that's where I think Montague should be in the mix, although I'll have Marshall. It'll probably go for me, Phil Ho, maybe Vieira, Marshall, Montague in that order of ownership. I'll have a little bit of exposure to all of them. But if I'm making like a cash lineup, it's probably straight Phil Ho and Francis Marshall. I'm going to take the odds. I'm going to obviously take the ones with the best odds to win, and I think they're going to get their wins. All right, there's a couple more fights I want to talk about. Really just one more fight that I want to talk about. I have another underdog play that I am betting on, and I have strong reasoning for it here. And this is in the Victor Valenzuela Max Griffin fight.
Yep, we agree on this one. I bet this one already too.
There you go. I like that. Oh, I like the sound of that. Yeah, I am betting Max Griffin here, folks.
Same.
You too, Geno?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. We're all in agreement. That is crazy. I'm going to assume we're all on the same boat. Victor Valenzuela. The problem with him is he has beaten no one, did not really earn his way into the UFC, lost in the contender. I hate guys who lose in the contender series. That tells me you didn't earn your way in. You could be a fraud. And basically, if you look at this guy's history, there's nothing, absolutely nothing here that tells you he's really much of a fighter at all. Nothing. Meanwhile, Max Griffin, while old, has been fighting in the UFC forever.
And he will always fight for your money, by the way. That's what you have to love about Max Griffin. Yeah. Always fights for your money.
Fights hard. Active recently. Is he my favorite fighter, Geno? No, not my favorite. But like in this spot, I think he gives the newcomer a veteran lesson here. You can't just come in and be favored against a UFC vet that has won fights. And by the way, he was just, as recently as a year ago, going to split against, a Chris Curtis who's kind of like, decent in his prime.
Sniper's friend.
You like Chris Curtis, Sniper? You're a friend of yours?
Big fan.
We've had some fun DM exchanges.
Yeah, he's a wild man, Chris Curtis. But, Griffin is not terrible. He's not great. But I think this guy, Valenzuela, I don't even understand why he's on this card. What went on there? Doesn't belong here. But that's another plus money. That's another plus money dog to bet on and to load up on. And by the way, again, assuming the ownerships are somewhat correct here, that's a low owned. Let's see here. Where Max Griffin, 20%. Actually, that sounds about right.
That one sounds right. Yeah.
I'll be over the field on him. I'll be way over the field on Ryan Spann in that fight in general. I'll have more than 50% exposure to Ryan Spann. I will take the opponent as well a little bit, but mostly I am loading up on Spann for the fraud check. The fraud check on Bukaki, and then we're going to see a fraud check on Valenzuela as well.
Griffin was my kill shot last night, so I'm with you.
There we go. Griffin on the kill shot. I like it. All right, Geno, since Sniper gave us his kill shot, it's got Max Payne Griffin in there. I don't know. Do we need to talk about the last fight? Not really, right? Alan Carr, Pulaski.
We kind of already did. We kind of hinted at it.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. I like Pulaski. I don't like. I mean, I guess if somebody, Talita will be a popular underdog because she gets takedowns.
Yeah.
I guess that's good enough reason. Good enough reason as anyone. Geno, kill shot for the card.
You're gonna hate it, Jocelyn Edwards.
Jocelyn, I don't like that as a kill shot at all. That's okay. underdog, potential winner. I like Ryan Spann, obviously, as my kill shot to win you all the monies. Main event, load up on it. Aljo, if he wins, he always scores well. So Aljo in a win is going to cross 100 fantasy points. Just, be aware he could win. He's going to cross it. Got Aljo, Spann, Griffin, 3 underdogs, I think, that are really, really solid in this card. Maybe Rafa Hernandez in there as well. There's a couple underdogs that Hani Barcelos, I think, can win. So I think there's a bunch of underdogs here that come. I don't know if Jocelyn Edwards can win, but she could. The problem with Jocelyn Edwards for me, Geno, is if she wins, she's probably eking out a decision.
Yeah, in this format,
Yeah.
I just think she could shock her though, man. She's out some of her recent fights, man. She's, especially when she's gotten a hold of somebody with her hands. I don't know. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. But
quick thoughts on cash. Gio hung with us the whole show. I'm going to give a little bit of cash thoughts, but
I can tell you where my brain went with. Yeah, you should do that, and then scroll down and sort by salary. Sorry.
Yeah, I think up top here, if I'm at the top level, Phil Ho is somebody I want in my cash. Maybe Marshall.
Marshall. Yeah, can I get Alan Carr for 7,200? What does that leave me?
And it puts you up here with Max.
Rafa Garcia, perfect. Or Max. Rafa too.
Yeah, I would do Max over Garcia for sure. That's not a bad cash approach right there. Stack
2 big favorites, pick 2 dogs, and I think you can go. You could also, if you don't like Meyer Boy himself, I think is 6,900, and then you can get up to.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
if I was looking for a second one, what I would try to do, I don't know that this is a smart cash game move, but I'd try to get me some Ryan Spann in there. And I
don't think it's a cash game move, but that's just your love for Ryan Spann.
Yeah, it's not a cash game move. No, the cash play is what I had before. You just go with Alan Carr, and then you play the 2 studs, win. And
you could pick between Griffin and Garcia. Yeah. I bet on both of them. That's going to be a hard choice for me, but I think that's the structure.
Yeah, I would agree without giving out an actual lineup. Get that out of there. No, we didn't show a full lineup, but yeah, this sort of would be the approach, I think, in cash games this week. All right, boys. Another good Octagon Tactics in the bag. Zalal, Sterling. Let's take down some more tournaments, everybody. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We'll see you guys next time.
Let's do it. Later, guys. It's fun.
Later, guys.